Hi and welcome back friends. Now in this video we are going to discuss our first ever data structure, which is linked list. So basically we are going to introduce ourselves with the linked list. Okay, so let's move forward in this video. So welcome to this class of the data structures. So we'll see first what is today's agenda. So the agenda is, first we looked at what is linked list, second we'll have the diagrammatical representation of the linked list, and finally we'll have the explanation of code part by part. We can understand that how to link a linked list and how to make a linked list, okay, and how to allocate the memory for the linked list. So these are the three basically topics that we will be covering. So let's start the video and stay tuned with me. So let's first discuss that what is linked list. So linked list is a second data type after array. So linked list is also a linear data structure. Okay, so linked lists are actually just like array but not exactly array. So why they are just like array? Because linked lists are linear data structures and so array also, and as the name suggests, linked list, there is some link inside the linked list which we will be talking in the later stage of this video. Okay, now why the linked list is not just like array, just not exactly array? Because as we know that array is unlike arrays, linked lists are not contiguous blocks of memory. That means arrays are allocated in such a way that they form a contiguous blocks of memory inside the RAM, but this is not the case of linked lists. Linked lists are allocated randomly. That means they are randomly allocated inside the memory. So this is the dissimilarity in the linked list, and also we have many benefits of the linked list over arrays. We will see this in the next video. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic. PPT, you can see we have a random access memory, a part of the RAM, and this memory for our convenience has been divided into several square blocks, and the size of each square block is 4 bytes. Okay, and these are the base addresses of these blocks: 100, 104 up to 156. Now in this part we are going to discuss the memory allocation for different scenarios. First, memory allocation for the variables, second allocation for the array, and third, memory allocation for the structure. Okay, so first let's talk about the memory allocation for the variables. Okay, so what will happen if you start if you declared a variable? Okay, so as soon you declare a variable x equals to 5, then as we know that for my computer architecture the size of the integer is 4 bytes. That means this variable needs 4 bytes of memory inside the RAM to store the value 5. This memory, 4 bytes of memory, can be allocated inside this square block, or it can be this block, or it can be this block. So suppose the block corresponding to this variable is this block. Hence, as the size of this block is also 4 bytes and this variable also needs 4 bytes, hence this square block is enough to store the value 5. So once this block is allocated to this variable, then the 5 value will be stored, and the region of 120 to 123 will be named as x. So this is how the memory allocation for the variable happen. Now let's say that if you declare an array of integer of size 5, this says that, oh look, I am going to declare an array of size 5 which will store integer value. So let's calculate that how many bytes of memory it needs, and hence how many square blocks it needs to be allocated in the RAM. So as the integer has 4 bytes of memory, and each block in the RAM we have divided it into 4 bytes also, hence, and the total number of elements is 5, hence each element will take 1 square block. Okay, so now let's see that how the memory is allocated. So always memory is allocated in case of arrays such that all the 5 blocks are form a contiguous say line. That means the memory allocation will happen in contiguous manner, that which means that all the 5 blocks will be just side by side. Okay, so let's suppose that the memory allocation starts from 112. Okay, so first block will be this for first element, for second element this will be the square block, for third this, fourth this, fifth this. This will not happen like that. Say the first block is here, then second is here, third is here, fourth is here. No, this kind of memory allocation is not there inside the array. So inside the array, the memory allocation happens in contiguous manners. Okay, so I hope you have understood this also. Now let's see the memory allocation for the structure. So as you know that the structure is a user made data type inside which you can have more than one variable of more than one types of data or more than one data type. So inside this I have a user made data type whose name is struct node. Just like here the data type name is int, so same here is the data type name is struct node, and inside that data type I have two variables whose name is data and num, and the data type of this data is integer and this num is float. That means if you want to allocate this memory, first we need to assign a variable or declare a variable. So I declare a variable struct node x. The name of the variable is x. Okay, so x will have two parts. The first part will be storing the data and the second part will be storing the num. Now let's see that how much memory or the square blocks it will need to store the whole x. So for storing the data as it is integer, it needs 1 blocks of memory, and for my computer architecture again the size of float is 4 bytes. Hence for storing the num we again need 1 block more to store the num. Okay, so the total, if we want to store the x of data type struct node, then we need 2 blocks of square blocks. That means we need 2 blocks of memory inside the RAM. Okay, so suppose it starts from 116 and ends up to 123. Okay, so these 2 blocks will be assigned to x. These whole block will be assigned to x, and inside x there will be 2 type. So the first type name will be data, and the next type name will be num, and inside the first type you can store the value for data, and in this you can store the value for num. So this is the basic memory allocation for these three, for the variable, for the array, and for the structure. The memory allocation for the structure is very important because we are going to use this concept in the linked list. Okay, so make sure that you understand this memory allocation. Okay, so now let's talk the memory allocation for the linked list. So as we have discussed in the previous PPT that unlike arrays, the linked lists are randomly allocated. That means say you have a linked list of 5 elements. So that 5 elements will means that linked list has 5 nodes. Okay, so whenever talk about linked list means we are talking about nodes. Okay, so linked list is a combination of nodes. Like node is just like a square boxes. Okay, so combination of square boxes is called array, contiguous. Okay, array, but the combination of node here makes the linked list. Okay, so the nodes are allocated not in contiguous manner, they are allocated randomly. That means one node may be allocated at 108 base address, one may be allocated here, one may be allocated here. So to traverse the list, just like array, as it is simpler in case of array, so to traverse the list or to connect them, we need to see how to find the link. So before going on to the detailed part, as of now just understand that linked lists are randomly allocated and we have node inside it. Okay, so now let's see the diagrammatic representation of the linked list. So here is the linked list in which we have 5 nodes: first node, second node, third node, fourth node, fifth node. You can see we have 2 parts in each node. Okay, so first part is for data and second part is something called next. Okay, so that means in the first part of the node we will be storing our actual data, and in the next part we'll be storing some kind of address, we'll see. Okay, so as we have discussed that the linked lists are randomly allocated, hence to connect all these linked lists we need to find a link. So how to find a link? So to find a link, we have divided this node into 2 parts. So the first part will contain the data and the next part will contain the address of the next node. This is quite very important. Please note here that first part will contain the data and the next part will contain the address of the next node. So do note here is that 50, 100, 150, 200 and 250 are the addresses of these nodes. That means the address of whole node is 50, this node is 100, this node is 150, so on, and for this node it is 250. So to link all these 5 nodes, what we need to do is that we need to store the address of the next node in the second half of this node, of the previous node. So this is the first node, this is the second node. So if you want to make the link, then what you need to do, you need to store the address of this node, which is 100, into the next part of this node. Similarly, you can see 150 is the address of the next node, which is stored in this. Similarly, you can see, so here is the finally at the end you can see that this next value is null here. Next, as this block is named as next, so next is pointing to null. That means this indicates that, oh look, the linked list has end. Okay, so as you know that node should have a particular data structure, data type. Okay, so this whole data type cannot be integer, float, character, because integer has no two types. Like integer cannot be divided further into two types. So if you want such a data type such that we can store more than two variables of two different data types, so what we can do, we can go with the structures as we have discussed in the previous PPT. Okay, basically we are going to have a user made data type struct node. So struct node is the name of the user made data type. So inside the struct node we have two variables, first is data and second is next. One is of integer data type and second is a pointer. So why pointer? Do note here is that in the next part we are storing the address of the next node. That means it is pointing to the next node. So node is of which data type? It is the data type of a structure. Hence it should be struct node star next. It shows that, oh look, the next is going to store the address of the next structure or struct node. Okay, so if you are confusing, just take the example here. Suppose I declare a value int a equals to 0. It is an integer. Okay, and if you want to store the address of a inside a pointer, okay, so to store the address inside the p, what we need to do, we need to define a pointer p. So how to define the pointer p? As the p is going to store the address of the integer, that means address of the a, which is the address of the basically integer. Data type is integer, hence we need to do int star p and equals to ampersand effort. Okay, so this is the basic scenario to define a pointer to store the address. So similarly in this case, as it is also storing the address of what? Address of the node. So node is of which data type? Struct node, hence the pointer will be of struct node star. Okay, do note here is that here it should be capital S, not small s. Okay, capital S. Okay, yeah, fine. So now let's move forward. Now after declaring the data type struct node, now I am going to say declare a node. Struct node is the data type and node is the name of the variable. So as soon you declare a node, you will get a this block, this node. So this node will have two parts. First is for data and next is for next part will be for pointer to store the address of the next pointer. So this is how you make a link inside a linked list. So now you may note here is that this is another pointer whose name is head, and this task is to store the address of the first node. So here you can see 50 is the address of the first node. Hence to store the address of the first node, we are again declaring a pointer whose name is head pointer. Okay, so inside head we are going to declare a or put the address of the first node. Okay, so we'll see that why do we need the head, because in the linked list head is very important. It helps in traversing the linked list. Okay, so now let's move on to the next part and we'll see the code to make a linked list. Okay, so how we are going to make a linked list? First we are going to define the user made data type. Okay, and after that we'll define a pointers. As we know that we are going to use the dynamic memory allocation. Okay, that means we need to do the dynamic memory allocation for each node. So suppose in this video I'm going to make 3 nodes, linked list of 3 nodes. That means linked list of size 3. For that we need 3 nodes of total. Okay, so to add the 3 nodes separately, and after that we'll make the links. Okay, so the first task is to dynamically allocate the memory. Okay, so first take the example of allocating the memory for array. So suppose you want to allocate the memory for array of size n. So how you start? You start from saying that, oh look, as the array is going to store the integer, hence I am going to first define a pointer to the integer, and I am going to initialize it with null, and after that I am going to do the dynamic memory allocation using the malloc function. So you use malloc, and n is the total number of elements in the array, and into size of operator gives the size of each element, and as they are storing the integer, hence we need size of int. So if you will do, then it will give it will allocate the array of size n automatically. Hence what we have seen is that to allocate a memory, first we need a pointer. Hence to allocate a node, we need similarly a pointer. So as we are going to allocate 3 node, hence we need 3 pointers. So first pointer is head, as you can see. Second is pointer is second. Third pointer is named third, and all these three pointers are pointing to null. Okay, so this as of now, just understand that head equals to null, second equals to null, and third equals to null up to here. Okay, now let's allocate the memory for 3 nodes. So suppose if I do head equals to struct node star, because the node data type is struct node, as in this case it was integer type, so int star, but in this case we are dealing with structure, hence struct node. Okay, then malloc size of struct node. Fine. To do this or execute this statement, all these 3 statements, then what you will get? You will get 3 nodes here. That means the memory has been allocated separately for these 3 nodes, and now this head will be pointing to this, the second will be pointing to this, and this third will be pointing to this. That means the head will store the address of this node, which is 50, the second will store the address of the second node, which is 100, and the third pointer will store the address of the third node, which is 250. So we got the node by using this code. Okay, so just understand the code, try to write by your own and understand it. Okay, now next part is to make the links, okay, so that we can get a proper linked list. So to make the first link, what we are going to do, we are going to update the data in the first node. So how to update the data, as head is the pointer to this first node, so to fetch the data or to update or to scan the value inside the data, okay, what you can do, you should do head arrow data equals to 1. Okay, that means this is head hyphen, this is comparison sign here, and then data and 1. So if you will do this, it will assign data in first node, and that data, the value is 1. Now we need to assign the next part of this node. So how to assign? Head arrow next equal to second. So second is the pointer, this pointer. Okay, so the value of second is 100, and 100 is the address of this node. That means indirectly we have stored the address of the what? Address of the next node. Okay, using the pointer second. Similarly, so this link has been made. Similarly, if you do this part, assigning data to the second node, that means we want to put data inside the second node. So the second arrow data equals to 2, so 2 will be filled here, and we want to link the second node with the third node. So we can assign the third pointer. We can assign this statement as we want the next value is to update it as the address of the third node. Hence we'll do second arrow next equals to third. So third is the pointer to this. That means this third pointer is storing the value 250. Hence if we assign this third to second dot next or second arrow next, then 250 will be updated here. That means this link has also been made. Now we just want to update for the third node. Okay, so let's update for the third node also. So third node data has been updated as 3, as you can see, third arrow data, and third next data we need to point it to null, because this will show that, oh look, the linked list has been finished. Okay, and do note here is that head is pointing to the first. So head node is important for us, that's why I have shown arrow. Second node and third node after this program we do not need. Okay, so this is how you do how you allocate the memory for the linked list and how you create a linked list using C program. Okay, so I hope you have understood it. Okay, if you have not understood it, then in the next video I will be again understanding the code to create a linked list, but by using a single pointer head only, and by using the for loop. Okay, so we'll see that how to allocate the how to create a linked list in the C program. We'll discuss the code part only. Okay, so that you can get a better understanding properly. So I hope you have understood it completely. So thank you. That's it for this video. Thank you and Jai Hind.